This video is how to edit in Premiere Pro for beginners. And now you should have loaded it up by pressing on it. I've got some projects here. These are where your projects will be kept. If you haven't made one, press on new project, and then, so for me I'll be pressing on screen recordings. So these are all of my screen recording bits. This is from when I just started recording this video. And find where your video clips are, and for now do them. So I'm going to use these three for this video, and then there's all these options here. You can add a new bin. I usually do that and name it footage just to start off organising my media. You can copy it if you want to. You find your stuff just like you normally would in files. All of that done. Also, if you want to name it, you can name it. So I'm just gonna put hello or not. Then that's hello. Gotta make sure I spell it right. And then press create. So it should look something similar to this. I'm on a different page actually. So if you go up to here, it says workspaces. There's all of these options and we'll go through some of them. From here, so hello, hi and onwards. These are all of my workspaces. You can make your own. I'll show you how to another time. But the one that you need to be on is editing. If you press on that, it should look something along the lines of this, and your project name should show up there. And if you go down to here, this is where we'll get started. So you've got footage, well I named it footage. This is where all your media be stored. So if you press on your media pool, this is what we're going to do first. We're going to organize it. Press Control B, and this will make another bin. I'm going to name it audio, and then another one for photos. This is where I just store my stuff. For footage, you should have all of your videos in there, and we'll add audio, photos, that kind of thing later. You press Control B again, press A, Control B, and then B. So all your A clips should be, for instance, like what I've recorded myself, and then for me B ones will be like stock footage, that kind of thing. And then for audio, I have one, I put M for music, and then SE for sound effects. And if I go back there, photos, I just keep photos as normal, like that. But if you want to add any extra stuff, you can. So now I'm going to show you how to get a clip onto the timeline and cut it up. So make sure that you find your first one. If you double click on it or drag it onto here, this is your source viewer, and this is before it's on your timeline, so you can just like a preview in a way. This is your like timeline viewer, I think it's called. I can't remember the actual name. I might be right or wrong. But if you play it, this is my new favourite colour grading tool in Premiere Pro, and I'm going to show you what it is and how to use it. Let's get started. So you can see that there's quite a lot of gaps and there's like quite a lot of space. If I go, let's say to here, just press I, that's input, and then maybe back here, output. The frames inside here, it will only show this bit. All of this bit here, when you put it in, will not show up. And now that's your first clip on your timeline, we'll just start with the one. If you go to here, hold on to left click and then move it to the left, you can zoom in, and then we'll start cutting up. So when you cut up, so right near to where it starts, put your plate head, align with it, and then hold on to Control and K, and that will cut it. And then if you press on the clip that you don't want and press Shift delete, it will delete it. Now we're going to go through and just do it with the rest of this clip. Another way to do it at the end is if you move it at the end here, you can see there's these options, so you can kind of like just move it like this, in or out, like that. And then when you've done that, if you just want to save it just in case it crashes or something and you lose your progress, press Control and S at the same time, and that it doesn't auto save it, but it just saves it for you. So another thing that I do while I'm cutting it up, by the way, just quickly like a little audio thing, you could press M to mute your track there, so it's kind of moving in and out, it's not as weird. I usually go over the volume while cutting it up, so I'm not just like cutting it all up and then going over the volume, because this is quite a short clip, but imagine sometimes I like record one bit for like 1 to 3 minutes at a time. It'd be really long to cut it all up and then go through it. So while going through it, I just like change the volume. And to do that, I go here to where it says audio clip mixer for like screen recording for this specific one. And it will do whatever one your playhead is on and that you've pressed, that kind of thing. If it's not showing up there, if you press on window and then it will have all of these options, it should be audio clip mixer there. You just press on that and then it should be on. So it's muted, you can turn it on and off there if you want to. I'll just kind of play through and see how it is. Favourite colour grading tool in Premiere Pro, and I'm going to show you what it is and how to use it. Let's get started. So I'd say that's pretty good. I probably wouldn't have it. If you see here, there's like a little audio. This is my new favourite colour grading tool in Premiere Pro. I probably wouldn't have it much higher than that. Of course, if you want to make it higher, you just move it up or down like that, or if you double tap, or if you tap it once, you can change it manually like that if you want to. If I were to have one on audio 2, I'd change it, that would be on the audio 2 bit, and then I can change it there. Okay, so when you've done like the first clip, just like do the second one. You might have to re-press on the source view if you've done what I've done with the audio. You just gotta just keep redoing it. To find it, press, but usually I just keep it at 50 because it's just easy. Okay, so now you just add it in and just cut it all up. I'll have like a little time lapse of me doing it. I also just wanted to mention that if the play button is here, I completely forgot to bring that up. You may have found it already, but there's also spacebar. So if you press spacebar, it will, well, make sure you press on the timeline bit. You'll press spacebar to play and pause. And then the keypad here, I'll get up a picture. If you move the left and the right ones, you can like just move frame by frame. And then the top and the bottom ones moves it from clip to clip like that. Just completely forgot to mention that, but now you know. Okay, so I have now finished doing the cutting. Now we're going to move on. But first I just wanted to show you a couple of quick things on like the timeline. So we first have the linked selection tool. If you press on it to deactivate it, it will just move like one clip or one audio bit at a time like that. So for instance, I don't usually have, for the outro here, I usually have something else like B clips and that kind of thing. And then also for the intro, all of them I don't have for that. I'm just going to zoom out. Okay, and then you can turn it back on by pressing on it. You've got the snap tool. If you press S, I'm going to go to the end to show you it. But if it's on and you move it in, you can see like there's that line there that kind of stops it from merging into the clip. Of course, if you force it more, it will go in. But if you turn it off and do it, it just goes in like that. And if you want to undo anything that you have done, by the way, press Ctrl Z and that will undo it. Okay, so now that we've done that, we are going to move on and do our intro and outro. So I'm going to start with the outro. Personally, I just do that first because for me it's the easiest, because I don't really do that much to it. If you go up to here where it says workspaces, press on it and then press captions and graphics. There's all these options. So I downloaded all of these background graphics here, and I'm just gonna go and add one into it like this, and it may have to load. Got to connect it. I'm just gonna go back to editing, but you can see now not only it's really long, but I'm just gonna delete that. There's this weird red bar on top of it, and that means it's not really gone through properly, so when it plays it'll be a bit like this. Watch this video next, which is these 5 tips. It's a bit laggy, so if you go to the beginning and press I, go to the end and then press O, and then press right click on your clip and then press render and replace. You should be able to render your clip, and then that just helps it so it's not as laggy. See, so now you can see it's like this, so it's all yellow up there, which means it's fine, and it's not red there. If you press right click on top of the timeline where like the numbers are, and then press clear in and out, that will go away. And now when it plays, it's just playing perfectly fine now. And now we're going to go back and we're going to do the intro. So for the intro, just add in your clip that you're going to use. You may have done it already. So hopefully you've got all your clips. Now we're going to get started. So again, you use I or O, input or output, and you just kind of add them in. I just kind of drag them over like maybe 1 to 3 seconds. Also, by the way, if you do want like stock footage and stuff, I use a couple of things. So one of them is a paid one, and the other one you can use as pixels. I have a video about where you get like free stock footage, like photos, videos, and then also a one for audio, which I'll link in the description, and you can use them. They're all completely free, non-copyright, that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm just gonna listen to what I got. This is my new favorite color grading tool in Premiere Pro, and I'm gonna show you what it is and how to use it. Let's get started. So I'm just gonna mute that quick. This is my new favorite color grading tool in Premiere Pro, and I'm also just kind of trying to match it up with like the sentences. So this is my new favorite color grading tool in Premiere Pro, and like that. And one thing I wanted to add was that there. Okay, so I'm almost done now. I've just got one more thing. I just want to make sure that it looks all good. Okay, so this is what it looks like when we're just playing it. This is my new favorite color grading tool in Premiere Pro, and I'm going to show you what it is and how to use it. So of course we're going to add more, but one of the first things you can see is it's all a bit zoomed in, and one thing that we will go over a bit more, but not just straight away, is the effect controls. So this is where you can move things like side to side, up or down, that kind of thing. And what we're going to focus on now is the scale one. So if you go to where it says 100, and then if you move it so it's higher, it will zoom in, and if you move it out, it will zoom out. So I'm just making sure that each one is zoomed out. You've got to make sure to press on each clip and then do it like that. You can, if you want to, let's say for this, because you're scaling it, press on motion and then hold on to Control C to copy, and then go on to the next clip and then press on motion and then press Control V, and then it will zoom out like that. And we will go over this more, it's just right now we're just going to be going over this bit here. Okay, so now that you've done that, get up if you can, if you are going to copy what I'm going to do, a picture. So for instance, it's in like a circle, I've got like my profile picture. If you don't have one of them, or if you want to cut it up into a circle but can't, if you imagine this is just, it's got like a white background around it, you go into effect controls and then you just use this here, circle of opacity. You basically just make a mask and then you can just mask it over and then it will get rid of white background there, and you can use that. But anyway, I'm just going to go into each clip, just cut it, each one. And also if you do want to undo something, press Control Z like that. So if I did want to undo that, I'd press Control C like I've done there. And then if I wanted to redo it, I'd do Control Shift and Z, and then I'd redo it like that. And also don't forget to save it as long as you go by pressing Control S. But what we're going to do is we are going to move it on top of our person. This will be a keyframe and a tracking tutorial, by the way. Also going to make it smaller, make sure it's over their head properly, and you're at the beginning or where you want to start with it. And then you press toggle animation, so that's stopwatch on the position. And this left one here moves it left and right, and then, oh god, I just reset that. And then the other one moves it up and down like that. And when you play, so make sure you just play for like a tinsy bit, and then stop like that, you move it, and then you can see here you have a keyframe. You do have the option to move it. You hold on to the left click on your mouse and just move it like that, and you just keep playing, moving it, make sure that you can't see any of the person's head, and then you just keep doing it to all of the other ones, which I'm going to do now. So now you should have done that if you are copying what I'm doing. So you have now learned how to use keyframes, and you've also learned how to track something as well. But you can see here there's nothing here. I was going to add a Premiere Pro logo into it like that. What I wanted to do was have it drop down there so I can't see it, keyframe it, play it for a bit, and then have it go all the way up like that. Actually maybe a little bit, just back to what it originally was, which was 540. So it's just in the middle. So now that we've done that, we're going to move on with transitions. So now we're going to do transitions, and then what we're going to do is we're going to press on the blue arrows and then go to where it says effect. do this one here and then I'll zoom it out. But first I just want to go over the other ones. So we've gone over the masking one. We have gone over these ones here. Let's start with this. I'll just use it as an example on this clip. We have rotation. It seems pretty obvious. By the way, if you want to reset any of these, there's these individual ones here that you can use to reset. And then you've got this one here. So for instance, for the whole of motion, it will just reset all of that here, but not for this. And then we've got anchor points. This is just like a slower version of this, moving it up and down. We have anti-flicker filter, which just I think that's for more like effects stuff. I haven't actually used this one yet. We have opacity, so we've got all of these masking ones here. This one here you can draw yourself, and then these ones should be quite obvious. Then we have this, so if it's to 0 you won't be able to see it, and then if it's 100 you will. And this is how you'd fade in, so if you did want to do that, make it 0, toggle animation, move it a bit, and then make it 100. The reason why I don't is just because of all of this other stuff. It's just a bit annoying, so I don't usually do it so much. And if you want to cancel the animation, press on the animation, and then it will ask if you're sure, and just press OK. And then it's all gone. And then you've got time ramping, which is the speed. And if you do want to adjust the speed, press right click and then speed duration. And then the higher it is, faster it will be. And then the lower it is, the slower. Then you have the option for reverse speed as well. Press OK. So that's all of them. I'm just going to go through and just edit the effects how I want. And you do that as well. Okay, so now that you should have done all your effects that you're going to do, we're now going to move on to audio. So make sure that you have all your audio inputted into your media pool. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to move on to audio. If you can see in my media bin, I've already added some in. Again, if you don't have any audio and you want like some non-copyright ones that's for free, I made a video on where you can get the stock footage and audio one, as I've said before. So go click on the link in the description if you want to and look at that video, or like the card up on the screen, depends on which one I do. But anyway, so I got a sound effect because I got a transition, then I just got some music, I just got a few bits, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them in, and then there's an audio page, and I'm going to show you how to use that audio page, or at least just like some basic stuff and some things on here just to get you started. You aren't going to learn everything, so I thought start with the music. I'm just going to use one track. I think I'll just use this one. So usually it will be quite loud, so if you go into audio clip mixer, depends on what you want to do. I'd recommend it between -20 to -30. That's kind of where it works for me. I think usually -27, because sometimes it just gets a bit too loud. And then when you play, because it also kind of depends on your voice, because you might have it -20 but then your voice might be really quiet or it might be too loud, so it just kind of depends. And also make sure it is reasonable amount, so usually I just put it at near the end of the video clip and then I go to the end. Also, if you're kind of, because this video is just about one topic, so I'm not really going to change the music, but for like this one for example, you'll see that there's quite a lot of changes in music. If you want to go back in here, and I just kind of change it kind of every single time I change the subject really, but you do that. And then for sound effect, I only really need one, so do that, have that. I'll probably do make it just a bit less loud, maybe like -15, that kind of thing. And then of course you can add it in just by dragging the audio. How to use it. To find it, there we go. Use it. To find it, so in Premiere Pro there's like an audio page. You've got like simple things here like the audio clip mixer, and then just a quick tip, if you go up to Windows here, press on it, there's all of these options here of like pages and stuff. There's another one called audio track mixer, which we will go over. I just want to go over the page first, and I'll just show you how to get there. Press on workspaces, then press on audio, and then this is the page here. Got all of this stuff here, which is like your media pools things, your normal effects stuff. I'm just going to press on that, and then you've got all of this stuff here. So we're just going to ignore this, and we're mainly going to go over like these stuff here on these pages. I just thought I should show you it so you know that it's there if you want to just have a play around. I'm just going to go over the track mixer and the clip mixer, and now we're just going to go over the audio track mixer. So again, you've just got the kind of volume ones like this, and then you can change it, be more left or right like that, and if again use Ctrl-Z to undo it if you want to. You've got like mix, and you just got like your system, which is what I'm using for like my microphone and stuff like that kind of thing. I guess that's all you kind of really need to know. So now that we've done that, we just learned like the basics of it, of the audio, I'm going to show you how to color grade. So if you press on workspaces and then go to where it says color and press on it, they've got the color page here. So I'm gonna press on this clip and use it. So you've got all of these different options like temperature. You can reset it by pressing it up here or by pressing Ctrl C. You've got tint, saturation, all of that. But what I do is, if you're a bit confused by this and if you're finding it all a bit confusing and a bit too much, or just something like that, press this button here, which is auto. It will auto color it all for you. So you can either like just use this, or you can use it to get you started. Sometimes if I just really don't know what to do, I just press auto color. I keep it as this, I just kind of use it as a starter, maybe add a bit more exposure or a bit more highlight, or you know, saturation, that kind of thing. But you can also increase the intensity so it's more, but I'd probably just keep it in between 40 to 50. And this is the tool that I was using in this video here to show you. You have LUTs here, so you can like make your own ones, or they do kind of come with some as well, that kind of thing. I'd say that's all you really need to know to just kind of get started with this. Of course, it's not like an in-depth teaching you everything. This is just like a beginner's guide just to get you started. So now exporting. So there's a couple of options. You got like a quick one here where you just press that, and then you just, if you want to name it, you just press on that and then you can change the name, and then you press export. Or there's like a whole page here where you've got all of this here. You've got the name, you can change the name. So I'm gonna put, which is like my title and stuff. For me it's got it autosave, but if you press on it and then you can choose where you want it, you have the option to auto upload it to loads, and there's all of these different resolutions things. Yeah, you can just kind of change it around to how you want, what you need it for, that kind of thing. You can rewatch the video here, and then you'd press export, and then it would just render the whole thing. Watch this video next, which is how to use keyboard shortcuts for beginners in Premiere Pro. Subscribe.